All my friends have. All my friends have dreads. 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 All my friends have dreads.
The following production has been brought to you by the Hippie Broadcasting Network, WTHC Radio, and Stoner Records. Now here's our hosts, Regular B and Rebel Rich.
Yeah, that's how we do it. Again, you're muted.
Yeah, I did that on purpose. Nah, it came in handy. It did. Hi, Richard. Hi, Jan. Jan. So, welcome back to another week of All My Friends Have Dreads. I am your host, Brandon Kish. This is my co-host, Rebel Rich. We have an awesome show. I know if you are following us on social media, you know that we have recently united with another festival to try to bring the message to as many people as we possibly can. We are super excited about this one. First year festival called Roots in the Forest, but the venue has an established fan base, so it's going to be awesome. The lineup dropped a few days ago. We'll talk about that later. Rich, before we do all this, do you want to get into what we did last week?
Last week, we had our Rebel brother and Rebel hippie, DJ Dreadhead. So shout out to Space Camp and Rebel Hippies. By the way, Space Camp, you see Doobie was on rocking the stage out at Reggae Rise Up Florida with Roots of Creation. Did you see that? It was fire. I was proud. Awesome. Proud to see the homie up there rocking it, crushing it. But yeah, we had their DJ, one of their DJs, Dreadhead, because they also have Red Eye. Shout out to DJ Shorty Rock Red Eye out there. We've talked about
real quick. I saw both of them today, both Oski and Dreadhead. They're in town for a wedding tomorrow, so they stopped by to grab our PA. And O came in, met the dog. He's in love with my dog now. So
right on. Yeah, so we were talking our topic, we were knowing our limitations and how that affects the way we, our everyday life. And it was a great conversation, especially having the one of our brothers on, and he's a person that we have been on this journey from the very beginning of Rebel Sounds Rising with, and he's been with us as we've been at our limits and as we've gone over our limits, and he's kind of taught us, in a way too, other ways for us to be able to handle and recognize when we're at our limits, you know what I mean? And it was a great show, and it's really just important to understand and recognize what your limitations are, because if you are stretched way too thin, your quality of work, your quality of life, all of it goes down. And once that happens, your reputation can go down with it. So, it's better. So, bro, it's better to, limit yourself and give all, put your all into what you choose to do, instead of, wearing yourself thin, and because it shows in your work, and it's shown in our work. When we've done too much, we started this. We decided we try to cut corners here, cut cheap batteries, whatever, man, and it's just and it's just something we it's a learning process. So yeah. So it's really important to know and understand your limitations, because and carry those understandings with you through life, because if it's put it to daily use. Know your limitations.
The thing about that too is like you talked about, the quality of your work going down when you start getting to that stage, and your reputation struggling. Then those are things that can create downward spirals. You know what I mean? Right. That's going to have an effect on your mental health. Your mental health is going to suffer because of those things. And now you're spiraling. It's going to get worse. This is going to get worse because that got worse. I mean, that seems to be the biggest, one of the biggest things with mental health is that we're always either getting better or we're getting worse. It's not like we're ever kind of staying the same, you know?
Right.
So that in mind, I want to bring that into this week's mental health topic, which is making good decisions. I know we've all struggled with that. Making good decisions is like, to me, that's like the epitome of everything, because that's how you build. I mean, that's how you build the business. That's how you build a good name in life. That's how you build relationships. It's all about making good decisions that reflect your core values and things like that. So I do want to talk about why we would make negative decisions versus positive decisions, knowing that positive decisions are good, right? So
you can make negative decisions hoping for a positive outcome too. You know what I mean? Like, and though when a negative decision, a positive, because it could look a lot like, a negative decision could really, really be positive looking, but really in the long run be negative. Like if you make, like, let's just say, all right, let's take the music industry for instance, man. Like that record label for that contract from that big name that they put in front of you may really, 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 really seem like a positive decision you're going to make to sign that contract. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, though, like it might not really be a positive decision. You know?
Yeah, when you sell 40 tickets and you're on the hook for 20 grand and you've only sold 30 tickets, you know what I mean? Like, it's probably a bad decision.
So with making good decisions, you need to understand what the decision is you are making as well.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You got to give it a thorough examination and think about the outcomes and more than one possible outcome. Absolutely. So I still want to get into, we haven't really fully discussed why we would make negative decisions knowing that they're negative decisions. I know a lot of times we get stuck in patterns where this is the familiar decision is the negative. It's based on a negative thought process already because we're depressed or we're already struggling. So it's just familiarity, really, fear of change or just the familiarity or the comfort zone type thing. You know what I mean?
Anxiety,
any kind of emotional overload like that, fear. And then this is the one that I think is the biggest one. And for me is one of the biggest ones, the dopamine hits. You know what I mean?
Right.
That short-term gratification, I will feel better now and I will sacrifice feeling better later. Well, and that, I mean, going back to even our addiction days, I mean, that's what addiction was. I want to feel better right now. I don't care.
I'm not worried about tomorrow till tomorrow. Right.
So now on the flip side, what do positive decisions look like? What do you think positive decisions look like? What's going to define a positive decision?
I mean, thoroughly looking at what the outcome, you hope that the positive decision is going to have a positive outcome. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? And, so it basically just, when it's a decision. So you have to choose, and like, right. and sometimes, choosing the lesser of the two evils is, it could be positive, but also I listen, man, I look at that situation of choosing a lesser of the two evils is just it's a lose-lose.
Yeah, I hate it. Why choose evil at all? You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
That's why I don't like, people are like, oh, I'm voting for this guy. Like, I'm not voting for any of the evil.
Nope.
I feel like too, being honest with yourself about what your ideals and your values are, and then asking the question before you make a decision, like, does this bring me closer to those ideals and values or further away from those ideals and values? Is this serving me good in the long run? Like you said, be honest about analyzing what could happen from multiple angles, things like that. And I think, go ahead.
Like, for instance, an example of just when we were growing up, You know what I mean? Like we when we were younger, we tried to supplement our income with, selling that weed or whatever we could do, to get by. Like, well, at least we were telling ourselves that we were what we were doing, and if we could just, but like now, as we are an adults, we lose our job. We've been there. Like, we've sat here like, fuck, we have no work. We are like, and then you got that, that one dude that's growing, that's like, yo, if you know anybody that needs any, like, you damn well know, like, all right, I could sell this weed, but no, I'm not doing it, because like at the end of the day, man, like, that's a negative decision hoping for a fucking positive outcome, and that's just not gonna happen.
Even though it doesn't offend my morals or my ideals, it's not a wise decision, because there could be legal consequences and it could destroy what we're building. So that's another part. It may align with what you're trying to do, but if it's gonna cause you legal consequences, I would be careful.
Sometimes having to make the right decision, though, can cause you like temporary pain and hardships and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. And that's what it's about. It's about doing the difficult thing for the greater good, sometimes for your own greater good, versus feeling better and taking the easy way out.
Right.
So how do we do that? How do we do this on a day-to-day basis?
Slow down.
Yeah. Think before we act. And like you said, analyze. I think surrounding ourselves with positive people is a big thing. Like, if I'm hanging out with people who are smoking crack, I'm probably gonna, well, I may not, but but you know what I mean. If I hang out in a barbershop, I'm gonna get a haircut, basically, is what it is.
Right.
So we surround her, and this is what, like, our circle of people is such a positive, amazing group of people. Everyone is so ambitious. They all have projects they're doing. You'll see with our guests tonight, each of them has their own business that they were like, the people we surround ourselves with are just amazing people doing positive things and trying to make a difference in the world.
And and coming from the past that we've had, and our addiction problems, and we've been taught people, places, and things. You know what I mean? Like, we always like, shut up, I don't want to hear that shit. Shut up, I don't want to hear that shit. And like now, like as I'm older and I'm trying to, it really is people, places, because look at our lives right now, man. We literally eliminated 98% of the people. We've eliminated 100% of the place and 100% of the things. And,
but also not just eliminated, brought in something else, like replaced.
Right. Because if you eliminate, you have to fill that hole and that void with something. And that's where the positive, making sure you're making the right decision, on the healthy decision on what you're going to fill that hole with. I have a guy I work with, and he's a recovering addict, and he filled that hole with it's food. And he's not like, it's not incredibly obese, but we were talking about, he's not like overweight at all, but he was talking about, like, he's like, man, I love food. And I'm like I can't even eat it first thing in the morning. And like, people, like, yeah, it's crazy. So you got to be, mindful of what you're filling that, that hole with.
Everything. Even if you start exercise is a good thing, but if you're doing it to the point of fatigue, like if you're overexerting yourself, it's not a good thing. So, we have to be mindful of what we're replacing it with. But I think balance is key, as basically with everything in life. Balance. Yeah. So, speaking of great decisions, we, like I said, have partnered with Forest Farms to do Roots in the Forest.
Forest Farms out in Tionesta, Pennsylvania.
Did the entire lineup drop, or have we not announced the headliner?
Oh, no, the whole lineup's dropped.
Okay, yeah. So obviously, headliner Mike Love, super excited. I love Mike Love. We met him at Lionheart last year. He's an amazing dude. Super fun to work with. Puts on an amazing show. The rest of the lineup is fire. We're not going to get into it yet. We want to talk with them about it. So, do you have anything we want to add here? And then we'll get into the commercials and video.
No, I'm good. We could run right into it.
Awesome. I feel like that was a good talk there. So we'll get more into that a little bit with them later. Go ahead, hit me whenever you're ready.
Are you searching for affordable products and great rosin? Well, look no further. Whether you're keeping it simple or going all out, we've got you covered. Sunny's for everyday deals, and Hash RX for that premium fire. Sunny's keeps your stash affordable, giving you value every single day. When you want the best, Hash RX. Oklahoma's premium live rosin. No solvents, no shortcuts. Affordable or premium, the choice is yours. Find us at Oklahoma dispensaries.
All right, listen up, you dirty hippies. Have you ever stepped out of the shower, still felt like you wrestled a skunk, lost, and then rolled around in a pizza box? Yeah, that's because you ain't using Seed Squatch soap. Out deep in the misty forest where the pine trees are tall and the air is fresh, the legend of the Seed Squatch roams free. That big hairy legend figured something out a long, long time ago. If you're gonna smell like a beast, you might as well smell like a good one. Seed Squatch soap is packed with Bigfoot-level scents like Thunderfang Pineapple, Chocolate Banana Mountain King, Squatch's Secret Gardenia, and Wild Blade Lemongrass. These aren't your grandma's soap bars, man. These are rugged, legendary, forest-focused, scented bombs designed to turn your shower into a rock concert for your nose. Every bar is crafted for the wild ones, the rebels, the stoners, the legends. So when you step out of that shower, you don't smell like regret and yesterday's burrito. You smell like a mystical forest rock god. That's right. So do yourself a favor, wash your hairy ass the legend way, get yourself some Seed Squatch soap, because life is too short to smell like a regular human. Seed Squatch soap. Clean like a legend, smell like a myth.
Nugs of many sizes, munchies, trippy friends, and stash jars are some of the gifts you'll find here at LoveNugBuds.com for a unique gift for your 420 friend. Love Nug Buds will have what you want in the end. Welcome to the shop where the colors come alive. Collectors dream and memories shine like fireworks in the sky. Stacked to the ceiling with stories in light. Magic in the air when the toys play at night. Robots spinning, Game Boys flashing, action figures strike a pose. Barbie's got her sunglasses on, G.I. Joe's in hero mode. Arcade lights and vintage signs, glowing warm and bright. Everybody smiles when the toys play at night. Race cars roaring down the aisle like thunder and chrome. Furby's waking up like they just found home. Every shelf's a treasure map, everything feels right. Step into the wonder when the toys play at night.
These are my roots, this is my song. Yeah.
Yo.
Yo, what's up, guys?
What's going
Man,
on?
watching that video, looking at that stage, that thing is huge.
It is, right?
I've been trying to tell you, it is massive. Yeah, it's big.
Welcome, Brandon and Travis.
What's up, guys?
Great to have you guys here. How do you guys feel watching that? Wagwan, Sean, big ups, dude. It's awesome to have him. That so Sean is he's a regular here, so we like to give him a shout out. But yeah, how do you guys feel watching that video?
Excited. Yeah, it's dope. Excited. Yeah, man.
So-
Forward movement. That's how I feel. We're we're ready to move into the new this year and move into a next chapter and grow and keep that going. That's I think that's what we're both looking forward to this year.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a first year event for us, so we don't really have anything to put out there as far as footage or anything. But
Yeah.
I think with the headliners and the lineup, and then what really sold me on working with you guys was when you brought up all the support that you get from the community. I think that's amazing.
Absolutely.
Well, let's listen. Let's introduce the guys first. We're like halfway through our segment already. We haven't even introduced yet.
Yeah. So we have. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's welcome in Brandon and Travis from Forest Farms out in Tionesta, Pennsylvania. They are the owners of the Forest Farm venue, and they are the owners of Roots in the Forest. And you've heard us talking about Roots in the Forest. It's a new festival that we've linked up with these brothers right here, and we help and bring reggae music to the masses, and out northwestern Pennsylvania. And it's an honor to have you guys on the team and to be able to have you on All My Friends Have Dreads, even though, you don't have dreads, obviously, like all of our friends have dreads, you know what I mean? So, but, so yeah, welcome. Thank you for coming on.
Appreciate you guys having us on. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So, what are you hoping people think about? What are you hoping people feel when they see both this show and the video? What are you trying to do?
Excitement. The same thing that they felt, in our past events. It's about the way we treat people and the way that that we present our property and our and ourselves and our crew to people. It's about it's about enjoying yourselves, having a good time, enjoying the music and meeting new people and at the end of the day, it's about respect, and that's huge for us,
Right. So yeah, oh yeah, it's my bad. I lost myself here in my script. I decided to start printing stuff out, and now I'm not sure if it was really the smartest thing to do because I get lost easy. Anyways, so let's talk about Forest Farms. What is Forest Farms? I mean, we've seen the video, and it's got this massive stage that's actually smaller than what it used to be, from what I understand. But yeah, tell everybody listening what Forest Farms really is and how Forest Farms came to be.
So, up in my brother's property, there was a stage that was pretty much abandoned. It had been used, I believe, for revivals, maybe back in the 80s and 90s.
Yep. It was called Harmony. It was called Harmony on the Mountain back in the 90s.
You know what though? That means that the positive energy is already instilled there.
We've obviously considered that. Well, for a while, the property was just cornfields that was rented to the neighbor to feed their animals. So the field kind of grew up, and there was a bunch of stuff around it, old vehicles and all these things. And, my brother one day just said, hey, we've spent our entire teenage years and adult lives traveling and going to concerts to see our favorite bands. And, we're really rooted in Virginia Beach is where we spent most of our time. So the music scene there was pretty good, always something going on. So anyway, he said, man, what if we could revive this and kind of do our own thing? And I think we both probably thought it was crazy in that moment. But in 2023, we spent a lot of time, a lot of back-breaking, blood, sweat, and tears getting the property cleaned up and getting, the stage rebuilt and everything else. And then, 2024, obviously we had our first event, went really well. Then 2025, we had our second event, which went well also. And then we just essentially pivoted and moved on to Roots in the Forest now. So I think we've really curated a serious lineup. It's the best one yet. We've had roughly 40 some bands play on the stage already.
Nice.
And we're so thankful for, to all of those bands previous. But man, the lineup that we put together this year.
Yeah, that's a great lineup.
There's some Virginia Beach in there for you too. So.
There's some Virginia, Maryland, some Jersey in there. I mean,
that's one thing that I think is also special about this year is that there's a huge turnover in the talent. Like we're bringing, we're only I have to look at the lineup off the top of my head, but I think we're only bringing 3 or 4 bands that have previously played. So it's like, it's that's big. It's bringing it to a culture, bringing it to a new market. You know what I mean? And that's really at the end of the day, we want to grow with people. We want to grow with the artists. We want to grow with you guys. We want to grow with the community. And well,
that's what got. I mean, I knew you were, and I feel bad because I knew you were trying to reach out to Rebel Sounds Rising, from the very beginning. But we were just so super busy, and be honest with you, unorganized, that like it just like slipped my mind. But we always kept an eye on what excuse me, what you guys were doing with your past events there. And then like I seen the lineup that the teaser lineup that was released for this, and I was like, man, that's half of Rebel family. Like MSJR, Cultivated Mind, Ashley LaRue, Ellen J. Sessions. Like, man, that's those are Mike Pinto, that's Rebel family. Like and then I was like, this dude knows, he understands the mission. Like, and I didn't even have to talk to him yet. Like, because if you listen, honestly, I really truly feel that if you see any of the bands and multiple, if they're all on a stage together, then whoever's putting on that show understood the mission.
It's a couple surprises left for people too that we're not going to drop yet too.
It's not over yet, that's for sure.
Yeah. So how do you want people to feel when they leave Forest Farms? Like we understand, like, reggae is gonna make people feel good, regardless. But Forest Farms is the venue itself is, an experience as well. Like, tell us about, the camping, how many campsites you have there, RV sites you have there, and also the plans you have with the venue.
I would say what we want people to feel when they leave is sad that they're leaving. That's really at the end of it. Right. We want people to, feel like it's home. And we treat people that way when they're there. You know what I mean? That's right. From the vendors to the artists to the patrons to, people helping clean up, trash to the people that are running the stage. We want everybody to feel, on the same level as, as we are, because it can only be built. It can only be built by everybody. We can't do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? We can, put all the money up in the world that we want for a lineup, but it takes,
it takes a community to help us. It takes a community to put it together. And speaking of community, like, you actually have full support of the entire community of your area, Tionesta, that, I'm not sure what county it is, but, you're not far from Erie, Pittsburgh, certain parts of Ohio. And like, from what I understand, you have the whole community sponsoring, turning out, even the local state police come out, and that's huge. And that's huge for the growth of and the development of, because if the community, your local community, can be on board, then it's going to be successful. You don't have to worry about the town pushing back on you and everything like that. So yeah, tell us about that.
And that was kind of like what, our mission when we started was we wanted to start here and grow out so we can take our community and we can take those businesses with us as we grow instead of going out and reaching out and then bringing people in. We're trying to start small and grow it, grow it that way and really have the community. I mean, and the community support has been probably one of the most surprising things since we started. I mean, and when we say every business, I mean every single business in our town, which it's not a big town. We don't have a lot of businesses, but for them to be open-minded to get involved with a festival, the stigmatism with it, and to have, psychedelic looking artwork and stuff like that. And for, our local gas station and our local grocery store and our local hardware store and our local towing company. And I mean, and I know I'm leaving people out, but just for all those people to jump in, that's huge. That just shows them, they know what we are, and we're real people, we support them because they support us, and that's at the end of the day.
And they all show up. They all show up to the festival and love it the past 2 years. So yeah, we're so thankful for our friends and the community for, taking this journey with us. Yeah. So,
and then as far as around, so we have plans for expansion. We don't want to ever get too big because we want it to be more of an intimate concert. Right. You know what I mean? And it's not about financial gains for us. It's about really it's about a good show. It's about us enjoying the people, meeting people, showing that we can host them, show them what Tynesta is. You know what I mean? But so we have roughly about 40 RV sites right now. All primitive, but we have plans for power and water in the future. We have about 175 car camping sites in the field, and then in the woods we don't have dedicated campsites like numbered campsites. We clean the woods up, and then as people go in, they kind of get to set up their own villages and stuff. It really works out really cool every year. It's when you walk through there at night, it's like walking into a different dimension. Yeah. I mean, seriously, it's ridiculous. So, and in the woods, we have the capability of having over 400 plus campsites in the woods. So it's, nice. And that's just on that small part that we have room to grow. I mean, on the other side of the property, there's a 8-stall wash house where there's, campsites and stuff. It's all accessible eventually, but, we'll get to that point, so.
And I think you said cabins too at some point.
Yep. We're going to put some cabins in, slowly, start doing some stuff and improving, and that's the other thing, it's about improving the ground, improving the experience. And every year we want people, when they show up, that came the next year was like, wow, it's not the same place. It's not the same thing. You know what I mean? They want to, see some growth and know that when they spend their money's going back into improving their experience. You know what I mean?
Right.
Do we have a favorite moment that we've had at these Forest Farms? I kind of want you both to each answer this. Like, what is there a moment when you were like, wow, this is fucking amazing? Just from your experience over the last couple of years here at Forest Farms.
So last year, the weather was really bad for like a week, pretty much leading up. And we had cars stuck everywhere, trucks pulling campers. I mean, it was rough. Oh, man. But the rain stopped. We got everybody situated. And then the first night we had Roots playing. And it was like the weather was just perfect. And I was like, okay, I think the weather forecast looked all right. And that to me was leading up to it, I was like, this is going to be a nightmare. I don't know how we're going to get people in here. And it all worked out, man. And the performance was phenomenal. But just like the lighting was right, the sound was right, the weather was right. It was just perfect. So
awesome.
I'd say for me, to be honest with you, was the day after the festival when everybody was gone and I was finally sitting down by a fire in the field with everybody gone and looking at the empty field and looking at the stage being empty and thinking like, holy shit, there was almost 1,000 people in here yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, that was probably it. And mainly because I finally got to sit down, you know what I mean? Like, so, you know, it's really, it's all been a joy. You know, it's really been overwhelming just to watch it grow, and you know, to think that something like, you know, we were at the 20th anniversary Tacoma Town show at Pepper and Mr. Smalls in Pittsburgh, and I had said something to Lapaka Roots about it, and I was like, hey man, I think we're gonna do this, and that was kind of like where like it really like I was like, we are really going to do this. And that night was the night that me and, you know, I was like, dude, we're doing this, you know, and then, you know, I surprised him one day, was like, dude, I got a contract ready. You want to jump in on doing this? We're going to do it. He's like, yeah, let's do it. You know, and that was, you know, that was all she wrote. So to see something that just started as kind of to be honest with you, a drunk idea at a, you know what I mean? At a show is turned into this, you know what I mean?
That's awesome.
You know, there's like a couple of things that I want to highlight that I don't know if he shared this stuff with you, but the last 2 years, as many people have been on that property, we've had no medical incidents, we've had no police incidents whatsoever.
No security.
And when people leave, the grounds are clean. It's like the most, we take a walk through the woods down all the main trails. You can see where people made their campsites all weekend, but everything's gone, man. It's like, they take care of the property. You know, they respect and appreciate it for what it is. But yeah, I mean, so just, it's, to his point, it's just been great, honestly, both years. So we're so excited to continue that this year.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
So it sounds like you guys created like a culture there that just has the respect of everyone involved, and people see that, the people coming to attend it see that, and they feel it. What is it exactly you want the attendees to feel? Not so much when they leave, but when they get there, what is it you want them to feel?
The love. I mean, that's what it is. It's about, you know what I mean? Feeling that they're welcome, that's their home for the next 3 days. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Mi casa, su casa. You know what I mean? Like, really, that's, you know what I mean? We want people to feel like that. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's awesome when you sit there, like you were saying, when you sitting there after everybody's left by the fire, and you're like, wow, there was 1,000 people here. We had all these bands on the stage, and you know that every one of those people are leaving there with a memory, man. And like, when you can, like, that's the best gift to be able to give somebody is you know, or the worst, you know, but a memory, a really positive memory. You know what I mean? Like, and that's an awesome thing. And you know, Rebel Sounds Rising has been involved in the start of two festivals for sure. One Earth Reggae Fest and Lionheart, and we've been able to sit and watch these festivals grow into what, you know, every year getting bigger. And one of the best feelings was, you know, knowing that the people there were enjoying it. Like, so the first year of One Earth Reggae Fest, you know, I was on the news on WFMZ and talking about, you know, and it was the first time I was ever on the news. I was super nervous. But the next morning, the next day at the show, I'm standing there, and there's this guy there with his little kid, and his kid was like, hey, you were on the news, and thanked me for helping put that together. And like, that came from a child, like probably 7-8 years old. And that was awesome. And then at Lionheart last year we're walking through Lionheart, you know, it's Sunday morning, people are getting up, they're packing, and you could hear the conversations, and you could hear people talking about, next year I want to get that spot over there, I think it'll be perfect, or I want to get this, you know, talking about what camping spot or RV spot they were going to get. And when you hear that, man, like, you know that, like, yes, it definitely was a success, because people are already making plans for the next time, you know, the next one. And it's amazing to feel that way.
So what I like too about this Roots in the Forest one, like, you look at the lineup and you can see, and you guys were adamant about this from the beginning, like, we want to stay true to the roots and the culture of reggae music while bringing in something for everyone. And I think the lineup did an amazing job. And that's, as far as Rebel Sound, we were very adamant about also staying true to the roots and the culture of the music, not losing that message.
Yeah.
Right. So let's talk about Roots in the Forest. So it's a new festival, first year festival. It's not your first festival, but it's Roots in the Forest first festival, and it's so it's already has the support from the community. So like this festival really isn't built; it's grown. So like the seeds were already planted for Roots in the Forest. So let's talk about the lineup for Roots in the Forest. Like so. Just released 2 days ago, the lineup. And you know what? I want to talk about this. This is what I want to talk about. When we were trying to choose the lineup, right? We were all talking about possibly getting Zion Marley, and we were pretty much all set. Right there, yes. We were pretty much all set on Zion Marley. So yes, actually, you know what, Brandon? I'm gonna let you tell this story. Go ahead, tell this story. Tell them about that fortune cookie.
Our father passed away 2 weeks ago after a long battle, about a 9-month battle with, he was paralyzed and stuff. And long story, but anyway, so the day he passed away, I was on my way home, and we had been talking about Zion Marley and getting him, and it seemed like it was going to work out. It really did seem like it was going to work out. And I've been really thinking about Mike Love for the past couple of days, and specifically because another big festival wasn't happening this year that usually has Mike Love, and he has a big draw at that festival, which is Pyro. So I was like, I really like that idea. And then Monday night, the night that our dad passed away, Rich texted me and was like, "Hey, what do you think about Mike Love?" And when we left the hospital, I got Chinese food, and that was the fortune in my Chinese food right after my father passed away. And it says, "Love is the key to your success."
So the universe was telling you.
Yeah. So I was like, I felt bad because Delroy had done so much work for Zion, and I asked Rich, I was like, "Hey, do you think do you believe in, what I mean? Like, do you believe in anything, a higher power? And do you believe that this is what's going to happen? You know what I mean? Like, this was a sign, and do you believe in that sign? And he was like, yeah. And then when he told Delroy was like, yeah, we have to abandon the Zion thing. We have to go for Mike Love. You know what I mean? Right. He was like, it's the right move. So. The universe aligned, and I feel like the universe is aligned through this whole thing. And that's something we talked about in the beginning. We weren't going to force this thing this year. It was, we were kind of getting a late start on it, and the support and the way that everything has just fallen into place this year has been way better than we've had for any other festival we've done. It's been good.
Yeah, and you got some good support from your local the local reggae and reggae ska scene out that way as well.
For sure.
Lopaka Roots is from out that way. Higher Vibrations from out that way. And you got Fubar and MSJR from out that way. And they're the type of bands that will definitely help a festival grow because they're coming with top-notch talent.
Yeah, and Travis could talk some more about some of the other stuff we got. I mean, some of the artists we got.
Go ahead.
Easy this year.
So obviously he said Mike Love. We got the Supervillains, which we've listened to for like 20 years probably since they put out the Massive album. So can't believe we're doing that. Mike Pinto, big fans of his for a while too.
Full band Mike Pinto.
Yeah. Lopaka, as you said. Land of Panda. Got the hat on for the Panda Boys tonight, actually.
Yeah.
Ashley LaRue, Fubar, Errol Wisdom, Cultivated Mind, L&J Sessions, MSJR, Coastal High, Higher Vibration, Head High, Logan B, and Dirty Leaf. So, and there's still some things that aren't on this list that you alluded to a little bit ago. Yeah. So, we're super stoked on the lineup this year, and stay true to what we wanted to do.
Hell yeah.
Sense of Motion and Sons of Paradise. Obviously, there's going to be some really, really good music being played that weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Like I'm really excited for. I'm excited for all the bands. You know what I mean? But like, once it came from Mike Love and Sense of Motion on the table, you know what I mean? That was huge.
Right.
I can't wait to see those guys. And we've gotten a lot of messages from some of the other bands and stuff too that have been like, man, I can't wait to, be on a lineup with Mike Love and meet him. And you know what I mean? This is going to be a dream of mine. And so that's another, I guess, something that's cool.
Yeah, man, that's one thing we can definitely relate to.
Something that is important to us, and something that I think we will both agree on this is, the feedback that we get from the bands when they leave there every year is, we don't get treated like this at other places.
Right.
And that, to me, that is like, that hits home.
Go above and beyond. Yeah, we definitely know that feeling, because we go above and beyond to make sure that the artists are taken care of. And it is awesome because yes, we put on the shows because we know how powerful reggae music is, and we want to bring reggae music to the masses. But when you can put your local band, which these local bands should they're already good enough. That's the thing about these bands, like they're good enough to be on big stages. And when you're putting Cultivated Mind, I know one of his idols, or not idols, but one of his favorite artists is Tippy Eye, and Yakor. And when you're putting an artist on the stage with one of their favorite artists, man, you just made a memory for that person they're never ever gonna forget, and that just seals it.
So I'm curious, are we supposed to commercial again? Where do we land on that?
I think he played them all. I think, but yeah.
Okay, so we kind of want to shift gears a little bit, get back into the mental health topic. We don't need to get super deep here with it, but I want to talk about, or I want to ask basically you guys about how we stay committed to doing the right thing, making the right decisions, even when it's not the easy option in life. You know what I mean? How do we?
Yeah, especially going through what you've recently been going through.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'll have it.
You just got to stay the course, man. We have a solid foundation, morals, and we don't steer away from that. I know Brandon talked about it a little bit ago. We did not get into this to make money and get rich. Matter of fact, we've lost money the last 2 years.
Yep, we know that one.
We expected to, but we brought all of our friends and new friends together for a phenomenal weekend both years. We want to continue to reinvest in the property and try, provide as first class of an experience as we can. That's really what we're trying to accomplish.
And I would say like he said, I'm a big, keep your nose to the grindstone kind of person, push forward, keep the momentum going forward.
Right.
Right. I don't even like rear view mirrors in my vehicles. That's how I live my life is, the next thing's got to be better than the last thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Rich alluded to some of the shit that's been going on this year. You know what I mean? Still nothing keeping me down. You know what I mean? It's move forward, head up, chest out, and keep walking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there an inspiration? Like where does all this come from? Where is this? Do you have an inspiration for everything?
I mean, my inspiration for music, the reggae music and stuff, I would say came from, a band I used to work with in Virginia, Deburbia. I was a very square, closed-minded person when I graduated, never smoked a cigarette, never drank a beer, and then I met this band one night with a friend of mine and was just like I'm in deer in headlights, dude, the first time I heard him play, and then, became close with him and toured with him. And unfortunately, you know what I mean? We had, the lead singer passed away in 2009, but it opened my eyes to the rest of the world. And that's what gives me inspiration in this is carrying on, honestly carrying on that feeling, of going on that tour and having fun and seeing the people. I guess for me, that's what it is. Those were like some of my funnest years, you know what I mean, doing that. And that's what this reminds me of. So that's what gives me this motivation in this scene, you know what I mean, for sure.
Hell yeah. So I was talking earlier in the show about how everyone seems to be pretty ambitious when we get into these circles, and everyone's kind of got their own things going on. You both also run companies. I guess I'll ask a couple questions to Brandon about Logic Cycles, and then we'll have Rich talk to Travis about National Forest Realty. So the Logic Cycles it's something your dad started?
Yeah, so Logic Cycles was started in 04 by my dad. And I actually didn't even work for the company until like 2007 or 8. My dad had some health issues and I stepped in to help him out. And he was the spokesperson for Geico motorcycle insurance. So he built, a lot of Geico bikes, and we were a pretty predominant production motorcycle company. And I say that was he at that point. And he made me go on my own path. He wouldn't teach me about stuff when it come to motorcycles. He felt like the nepotism thing wasn't going to happen with him. He was like, you're going to go learn your own path. And then once you know something, you can come in and join me, and that's the route I went. And then 2010, the production motorcycle, market dropped out, and my dad was on the verge of not closing. He was just he owned many different businesses, and another business was more profitable. So he was moving on, and I got Logic from him and took it to Virginia Beach. And then it was more of a one-off custom shop. And then that's how it's continued, since then. And now it's in Tynesta, PA. And there's another thing. The only reason we are in Tynesta is our dad. There was a motorcycle event that used to be here called Rumble on the River, and it was a Geico event that my dad had to go to, and I met my wife there. And that's how Tynesta happened. And then once he came and visited me a couple times, he's like, man, I want my family to live up here. So he moved up here, and so that's really where the motorcycle journey came from, you know what I mean? And that's what it is. And that's what we are today. We're a one-off custom shop. We're known for performance, dyno tuning. That's what we do.
So now, how does growing up, building or first watching your dad build something like that, and then continuing to build that yourself, how does that shape your approach to, say, building a festival or building a community type event?
Methodical, just like a motorcycle is. It's about starting from a foundation. You can't put the roof on a house first. You got to build the foundation and build up to that. And that's how I approach most everything in life, not just motorcycles. You know what I mean? It's I create a list of the most important stuff at the time and attack that list, that way. And that's how I approach the festival. You know what I mean? We put a list together, make it, whatever is important at the time, and attack it that way. I guess that's, that's my thought process. And that's how, I go about the festival,
And it's cool because I know you guys you kind of bring different roles to organizing the festival based on what you kind of do. I know you said Travis is he's kind of more the managing, the budget managing type.
Oh yeah, he's the spreadsheet guy. He's the one keeping everybody in the
organized. Travis, what's it? Your company, National Forest Realty, is that the company you have?
Yeah, I have a couple different businesses, that being one of them. But it's a real estate company rooted in Tynesta, in town, and we are in the National Forest. Just to talk about the area a little bit, the Allegheny River flows right through our town. We're surrounded by the National Forest, state game lands. So there's all kinds of opportunities for hiking and camping, and we've got a really nice disc golf course. If anybody's into disc golf course at the Tynesta Lake,
which is 5 miles from
the
venue.
Really close to the venue. It's close to town. So just sell real estate in and around the area. We get a lot of people from Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Buffalo. I don't want to talk about it too much because we don't want it to get inundated with other people wanting to move here. We kind of like how
it's terrible. It sucks. Don't come there.
Horrible place.
We live where people from those areas vacation because we're 2 hours from Pittsburgh, 2.5 hours from Cleveland, like 2.5 hours from Buffalo. We're in a nice little triangulated area. So
yeah, I'm right outside the Poconos, so I'm sure you've heard of Jim Thorpe.
Of course.
And you know Allentown, but I'm outside. I'm like outside. I'm the Lehigh Valley, but I'm on the edge, like right by the Lehigh Gap, where the Lehigh Gorge isn't far from my house. I have Blue Mountain right here, and the Appalachian Trail runs right through here. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, we definitely value our landscape and where we live. So you guys so what's awesome is you both have in life different traits and Travis or I'm sorry, Brandon, you build, Travis, you organize for the most part, and you bring both of these traits together and you build this Roots in the Forest, man, and that's awesome, and that just shows what you can do when you put your mind to it and you have the right tools to the job. You know what I mean?
I'm kind of curious what the dynamic's like there with you guys working together. Are you are you bumping heads? You're like, no, we're not doing that.
Of course we are. We're brothers. Yeah. We're brothers. And, I will tell you that he is a gambler. Literally in real life, we'll go to the casino. He'll take money. He's going to gamble. I'm not. I'm going to watch him gamble. I'm going to have a couple of drinks. And the saying goes to this. And he's like, man, we got to add these 2 other artists and it's going to cost us X amount of dollars. And I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, and he's just like, I know it's going to work out. And I'm like, and so there's that contrast,
That was before I got that fortune cookie. You know what I mean? I had that, and then that fortune cookie came. It was validated. I was like, all right, it's happening.
Right. Exactly.
My man, it's the yin and yang. You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
Nicely, and we an idea comes up and we hash it out, man. Just like you're supposed to. Yeah. Here's the positives. Here's the negatives. What are all the potential outcomes, and how risk averse are we in this situation? So,
roots grow stronger when they grow in 2 directions. That's that was on my script and I liked it. Because it's relevant. That's why it's in the script. So guys, we're getting to that time. So besides Roots in the Forest, tell us what do you think is next for Forest Farms? Are you going to expand, do other festivals? What is your vision for it?
We're really locked in on Roots in the Forest now and trying to grow that and improve the property. I mean, down the line we want to, but we want to get to the point where it's desirable enough where people are approaching us. We're not approaching people. You know what I mean? And that's right. What our goal is. Our RV sites, like he talked about earlier, our future plans are to put water and power in, probably some holding tanks, really developing the property, figuring out the stage, getting all that, everything just dialed in, manicured, clean, safe, and people would be like, oh, you could tell these people take care of this place. And, and hopefully it encourages them to want to do the same thing.
Well, you know what it does too? If you go every year and you see, as a person going to the festival, going to the event every year, and you see it getting updated or upgraded every year, that will show me that, the type of people that's running the event, because you could just leave it like that and take all the money. You know what I mean? And just rent it out. This is how it is. We pay 15, at the very least, $15,000 for our Lionheart venue, and that's just the venue. We don't get anything with it. Not a person, not a roll of toilet paper, not a bar of soap, nothing. You know what I mean? So when you it would make me want to be like, all right, I'm definitely coming back because these people really know what they're doing.
So can we why don't you tell everybody, give a shout out to your own socials here, let people know where they can find Forest Farms and Roots in the Forest.
Yeah, on Facebook, Forest Farms. We also have Roots in the Forest on Facebook. Instagram, we have Roots in the Forest. I have Logic Cycles on Instagram, Logic Cycles on Facebook, and they have National Forest Realty on Facebook and on Instagram. So
if you're looking to move to Tionesta, but yeah. So if you're looking to move to Tionesta, hit up Travis, but don't.
They'll hire you.
Like when you get here. Yeah.
Yeah. That was an awesome show. I'm super excited about this festival. I really am.
I'm excited to get up on that stage and say, "What's up, Roots in the Forest?"
Yeah, it's gonna be
really
awesome.
loud. Really loud.
The way that the field grows to the end of the stage, you look up in the sky, like you can't see anything. It's like a knoll of a hill at the end by the road, so you literally look up into the sky when you're standing on the stage. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Cool. All right, so yeah, everyone have a blessed week. We will see our audience members next week.
Yeah, don't forget tickets, rootsintheforest.com.
rootsintheforest.com. Don't forget, get yours. And listen, early bird tickets are on sale right now, but we only have a limited amount. Once they're gone, they're gone. $75. But listen, let's be real. Like the price of this festival is extremely affordable, and that's another amazing thing about this festival. It's not even $100 for a whole weekend with camping like that, and that right there is also another thing that makes people say, yes, I'm going, because it could cost you $100 and you can bring your whole family.
Yep.
One more thing. Where can people find the vendor application?
They're on the Facebook, on our Facebook page.
Okay. Yep. So looking for vendors. They are on the page. So.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, well, thank you, Brandon.
If you have any issues getting it on the page, anybody that's listening, just DM the page and I'll send you over the app too. So.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, Brandon Hoffman, Travis Hoffman.
No, Travis Daniels.
Oh, Travis Daniel. I'm sorry. I guess. It says right here on my script that it's selective scripting here. So, anyways, Travis Daniels. I apologize. Brandon Hoffman. Thank you guys for being on All My Friends Have Dreads, despite the fact of not having dreads, but it's all good. Maybe
our pleasure, man. Appreciate it. Glad to be with you guys.
All right, see y'all next week.
Yep.
Yeah, have a blessed week, guys.
Too.
All my friends have dreads. 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 All my friends have dreads.